the handsome village warrior, and the girl from the Marula tree. Part 2. The Battle. Chapter 5. The Peace of the Savannah. In the wake of the Shadow Beast's defeat, the village of Nuruti entered a time of peace and prosperity. The harvest was bountiful, the rivers flowed with clear, sparkling water, and the herds of animals flourished under the watchful eyes of the villagers. Mazili's bravery had not only protected them, but had also instilled a renewed sense of hope and unity among his people. The elders held a grand ceremony to honor Mazili, celebrating his courage and the bond between the village and the spirits of the ancestors. Drums beat rhythmically, dancers moved with grace, and songs of praise filled the air. Mazili, now a revered figure, was given a place of honor among the elders, signifying his role as the protector of Nuruti. As the celebrations continued, Mazili felt a sense of fulfillment, but also a growing sense of responsibility. He knew that the peace they enjoyed was fragile, and that he must remain vigilant to protect it. The lessons of the past and the wisdom of the ancestors were his guides, and he vowed to uphold their legacy. One evening, as the sun set over the savannah, casting a golden glow across the land, Mazili found himself drawn to the Marula tree once more. He called on Marula, who has been a partner to him, and has been teaching him the ways and power of the tree. He sat beneath its ancient branches with Marula, feeling the presence of the ancestors around him. The tree's wisdom, a silent but powerful force, filled him with a sense of calm. As they sat in contemplation, Nana Amazu approached him, her footsteps silent on the soft earth. "Mazili," she said, her voice gentle, "you have done well. The spirits are pleased and our people are safe. But remember, a true protector must always be prepared for the unexpected. The world is ever-changing, and new challenges will arise." Mazili nodded, understanding the truth in her words. "I will not forget, Nana Amazu. I will remain vigilant and continue to learn from the spirits and the land." Nana Amazu smiled, her eyes reflecting the wisdom of the ages. "Good. And remember, you are not alone. The spirits of our ancestors are with you, and so are we. Together, we can face whatever comes our way." The words of the wise woman filled Mazili with renewed determination. He knew that his journey was far from over, but he was ready to face it with the strength and wisdom he had gained. In the months that followed, Mazili dedicated himself to his role as the protector of Nuruti. He trained with the warriors, ensuring they were prepared for any threat. He worked with the healers, learning more about the plants and herbs that could aid his people. And he spent time with the elders, absorbing their stories and teachings, as well as his now beautiful wife Marula, who makes sure he recites and absorbs all he's been taught. The village continued to thrive, and Mazili's presence became a symbol of hope and security. The children looked up to him with admiration, and the elders spoke of him with pride. He had become a bridge between the past and the future, carrying the legacy of Kwadele and the wisdom of the ancestors into a new era. One day, as Mazili walked through the village, he noticed a group of children gathered around Elder Badu, listening intently to his stories. The elder's voice carried the weight of many generations, and the children's eyes were wide with wonder. "Mazili," Elder Badu called, motioning for him to join them. "Come, share a story with the children. They wish to hear of your adventures." Mazili smiled, joining the circle. He began to recount his journey to the sacred grove, the trial of the spirits, and the battle with the shadow beast. The children listened with rapt attention, their faces filled with awe and inspiration. As he finished the story, Mazili looked into their eager eyes and saw the future of Nuruti. These children, with their curiosity and courage, would one day take up the mantle of protectors, just as he had. He felt a deep sense of pride and hope for the generations to come. The sun set over the savannah, casting long shadows that danced with the fading light. The village of Nuruti was a place of peace and prosperity, guided by the wisdom of the ancestors and the courage of its people. Mazili knew that as long as they honored their past and looked to the future with hope, they would overcome any darkness that might arise. With the spirits by his side and the love of his beautiful wife and people, Mazili was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The savannah, vast and beautiful, was his home, and he would protect it with all his strength. Chapter 6. The Rising Storm. A few years passed, and Mazili grew into a respected leader, his wisdom and strength guiding the village through many trials. The village of Nuruti flourished under his watch, its people living in harmony with the land and the spirits. Marula has also been the sunlight of the village, teaching the kids tales and tricks from the Marula tree. But as with all times of peace, it was not without its threats. One stormy night, as thunder rumbled across the sky and lightning split the darkness, a stranger arrived at the village gates. He was a tall, imposing figure, clad in a dark cloak that billowed in the wind. His eyes, sharp and piercing, held a glint of danger. "I seek Mazili, the protector of Nuruti," the stranger declared, his voice cutting through the noise of the storm. Mazili, alerted by the guards, stepped forward to meet the stranger. "I am Mazili. Who are you, and what brings you to our village on such a night?" The stranger removed his hood, revealing a face etched with scars and a gaze filled with intensity. "My name is Juma, and I bring a warning. A great darkness is rising in the west, a force more powerful and malevolent than the shadow beast you defeated. It seeks to consume all in its path, and your village is in grave danger." Mazili felt a chill run down his spine. The vision of the spreading darkness had never truly left him, and now it seemed his worst fears were becoming reality. "What kind of darkness?" he asked, his voice steady despite the turmoil inside. Juma's eyes narrowed. "It is a warlord named Kangi, a man who wields dark magic and commands an army of ruthless warriors. He has already laid waste to many villages, enslaving their people and spreading fear and destruction. He will not stop until he has conquered all." Mazili's mind raced as he considered the implications. The peaceful life they had built was under threat, and he knew that he had to act swiftly to protect his people. "Thank you for the warning, Juma. We will prepare to defend ourselves. Will you join us in this fight?" Juma nodded, his expression resolute. "I will. I have seen the destruction Kangi brings, and I cannot stand by and watch it happen again." With Juma's warning, the village mobilized. Mazili called a council of the elders, warriors, and healers to devise a plan. They fortified their defenses, trained their warriors, and gathered supplies. The atmosphere was tense, but there was also a sense of determination and unity. Nana Amazu approached Mazili, her eyes filled with concern. "Mazili, this battle will be unlike any we have faced. You must be prepared for great challenges. Remember the teachings of the spirits and the strength of the ancestors. They will guide you." Mazili nodded, feeling the weight of her words. He knew that this would be a test of not only his strength, but also his wisdom and leadership. "I will, Nana Amazu. We will stand strong, and we will protect our home." As the storm raged on, Mazili stood at the edge of the village, looking out into the darkness. The winds howled, carrying with them the distant sounds of chaos and destruction. He knew that the days ahead would be filled with danger, but he also knew that he was not alone. The spirits of the ancestors were with him, and his people stood united. The first light of dawn broke through the storm clouds, casting a faint glow over the village. Mazili took a deep breath, feeling the energy of the land and the strength of the spirits. He was ready to face the rising storm, to defend his people and protect the legacy of the ancestors. With the support of his people and the guidance of the spirits, Mazili knew that they could overcome any darkness. The battle ahead would be fierce, but he was prepared to fight with all his might. The future of Nuruti depended on it, and he would not let them down. Chapter 7. The Battle for Nuruti. The dawn of battle arrived with an eerie calm. The villagers of Nuruti, fortified and prepared, stood ready to face the approaching threat. Mazili, at the forefront, felt a mix of anxiety and determination. The spirits of the ancestors whispered words of encouragement, and the lessons of Nana Amazu, his wife Esorula, and his father fortified his resolve. As the sun rose higher, the distant sound of drums and marching feet grew louder. Ka'angi's army emerged from the horizon, a dark mass moving with precision and menace. At the head of the army was Ka'angi himself, a figure radiating dark energy, his eyes filled with ruthless ambition. Mazili raised his spear, the talisman of the ancestors glowing at his side. "Today we stand together to protect our home," he called out to the villagers. "We fight for our ancestors, for our children, and for the future of Nuruti. Remember our strength, our unity, and the spirits that guide us. We will prevail." The villagers echoed his rallying cry, their voices merging into a powerful roar. The warriors took their positions, shields raised, and weapons at the ready. The healers prepared their herbs and remedies, ready to tend to the wounded. Even the children and elders, though kept in the safest part of the village, offered their prayer support. The battle began with a deafening clash. Mazili and his warriors met Ka'angi's army with fierce resistance. The air was filled with the sounds of metal striking metal, battle cries, and the roar of defiance. Mazili fought at the front, his spear striking true, the talisman's light a beacon of hope in the chaos. Juma fought by Mazili's side, his strength and skill a valuable asset. Together, they fought wave after wave of Ka'angi's warriors, their resolve unshaken. But as the battle raged on, Mazili realized that this was not just a test of strength, it was also a test of strategy and unity. He called out to his warriors, directing them to form defensive lines and to use the terrain to their advantage. The villagers responded with discipline, precision, reflecting the training and preparation they had undergone. The healers moved swiftly. Marula joined the healers in tending to the injured and keeping the warriors in fighting shape. Despite their efforts, the sheer numbers and ferocity of Ka'angi's army began to take a toll. Mazili could feel exhaustion creep, but he pushed it aside, focusing on the fight. He knew that they had to hold on to protect their village and each other. As the battle reached its peak, Mazili found himself face to face with Ka'angi. The warlord's presence was overwhelming, his dark magic crackling in the air. Ka'angi sneered, his voice dripping with contempt. "You think you can defeat me, boy? I will crush you and your pathetic village." Mazili stood his ground, his grip on his spear tightening. "You underestimate the strength of Nuruti and the power of the ancestors. We will not fall to darkness." Ka'angi lunged, his attacks swift and deadly. Mazili parried and countered, drawing on every ounce of his training and the guidance of the spirits. The talisman glowed brighter, its light pushing back against Ka'angi's dark magic. The clash between Mazili and Ka'ang was fierce, the air crackling with energy. Mazili's heart pounded as he summoned the strength of the ancestors, their wisdom and courage flowing through him. Ka'angi's attacks were relentless, but Mazili met each strike with equal force, his determination unyielding. "Mazili, for the light!" Nana Amazu's voice echoed in his mind, reminding him of the power he held. With a surge of energy, Mazili focused on the talisman, channeling the light of the spirits. Esorula, watching from the side of the village square, noticed the effect of the battle between Mazili and Kaangi, and how ruthless Kaangi was in his fight. She knew she had something to strengthen Mazili's power. Esorula began to command and enchant the Marula tree in her. She started connecting it to her husband Mazili's strength. A glow of light began coming out of her fist, and she stretched it towards Mazili, connecting it to his energy. A brilliant glow enveloped Mazili, illuminating the battlefield. Kaangi recoiled, his dark magic faltering in the face of the ancestral light. Mazili seized the moment, driving his spear forward with all his might. The spear struck true, piercing Kaangi's defenses and shattering his dark aura. Kaangi let out a roar of rage and pain as the light overwhelmed him. The dark dissipated, and Kaangi fell to the ground, defeated. The remaining warriors of Kaangi's army, seeing their leader fallen, the power of Nuruti's protector, fled in fear. The battlefield grew silent as the villagers of Nuruti realized what had happened. They had won. The threat of Kaangi had been vanquished, and their home was safe once more. Cheers of victory erupted, and the villagers gathered around Mazili, their faces filled with gratitude and admiration. Elder Badu stepped forward, placing a hand on Mazili's shoulder. "You have done it, Mazili. You have protected our village and honored the legacy of our ancestors. We are forever in your debt." Mazili nodded, his heart swelling with pride and relief. "It is not only me, Elder Badu. We have to thank my wife as well. Never knew Esorula had such power. I could feel the strength of the Marula tree and a renewed energy as she connected her energy to mine. I could feel the love she had for me, which made me fight harder. This victory belongs to all of us. It is our unity and the strength of our ancestors that have guided us to this moment." As the sun went over the savannah, casting a warm glow over the village, Mazili felt a profound sense of fulfillment. The spirits of our ancestors were with them, and their legacy would continue to guide and protect Nuruti. With the battle behind them, the villagers of Nuruti could look to the future with hope. They had faced the darkness and emerged victorious, their bond stronger than ever. Mazili knew that there would be more challenges ahead, but with the support of his wife and his people and the guidance of the spirits, they could overcome anything. Esorula took Mazili on a walk down to the Marula tree. Once under the tree, she looked into his eyes, held his hands, and placed his hands on her stomach. "You're about to be a father, my wonderful husband." With an amazing jump, he shouted so loud and hugged his wife so tight. He knew it was going to be the beginning of a new journey for the both of them. The village of Nuruti was a place of peace and prosperity, a testament to the strength and resilience of its people. Mazili stood as their protector, ready to face whatever the future might bring. Together, they would honor the past and build a bright future for generations to come. Tune in again, dear audience, to witness the captivating plot and twist in the African folktale saga of strength, power, and love. Remember, all is fair in strength and unity, but love conquers all. As you navigate the story, leave us a comment on your thoughts, your wish, your assumptions, and your conclusion about the story. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories from us. See you next time.